but I'm normally in Guelph, Ontario, so that's where I live and work out of.
Beautiful.
But after a series of situations I couldn't control, here we are. So I'm going to be a little bit slower than usual, just maneuvering around a device that I'm not super familiar with. So at any point in time throughout
Cheers,
this, if you have a
evening.
question,
Evening's
throw it in
coming
chat. I'm
up.
going to try and
Yeah.
do my best
Oh
to
yeah. And it's all
keep an eye on
virtual.
it.
Yeah,
If
because
you
I was like,
if you want to type something into the chat, that also works as well. I'm going to throw some things in there throughout this. Let's get this going. Lovely. Everyone should see my screen, hopefully. Google Business Profile. Cool. This was formerly called Google My Business up until a year and a half ago when they rebranded it. So it's called Google Business Profile. I'm going to mix that up a million times because I did 10 years of Google My Business. So if I mix up Google My Business and Google Business Profile, they're the exact same thing. Cool. Make sure I can actually flip through these things. Great. There's me. So I own and operate a company called 2H Media. We've got offices in Guelph, Woodstock, and then kind of an office in Vancouver. But we help pretty much businesses, Canadian and US businesses throughout North America. What we're going to touch on today, some of you will be a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of where you're at in terms of your profile. We're going to go through some of the basics first. We're going to go through some of the advanced stuff afterwards. Cool. So what is a Google Business Profile? Why it's important? We're going to talk about a little bit about account setup. So for the people that don't already have one, or maybe they're lost in that process, cool. We'll start talking about managing the basics and then get into some advanced features. The verification process has changed many times over the last 10 years. So we're going to talk about everything that you actually need to do in order to actually verify your Google Business Profile. It's actually not very hard. It's just different. And then Q&A sprinkled throughout everything. So please don't hesitate. So great. Let's jump right in. So where can I see a Google business listing? Google business profile listing. Fairly straightforward. If you're using Google as a search engine, even if you're not using Google as a search engine, a lot of the other search engines piggyback off of this technology. So yeah, if you wanted to type in like your favorite restaurant or a bar or something that's local or a service provider, something like that, um, you are going to find something that looks like this. So I'm just going to pick on our friends over at Hauser Company Stores. They're over in Kitchener. They've got stores all over the place. So this is their Burlington location. This is what a Google Business Profile looks like. This is a very small snapshot of all of the information that actually can be housed through a Google Business Profile, but you're probably all familiar with this, whether it's on mobile or on desktop. You're going to see this all the time. What's massive about this is great. Look how much real estate they actually give you for free. They give you a lot. So Google provides a lot of value for no money. So if I could control half of a essentially a Google search with a free ad for my business, depending on what someone is looking for, I want that half page real estate all the time. So um, regardless if you're service based or product based or a little bit of both, I want you to have as much visibility online as possible because it's going to make people finding you that much easier. It's going to help you beat your competition. It's going to just become more favorable for you in a whole bunch of steps. And why is this actually important? So this is entirely SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It is how essentially a search engine ranks your website and your business within the SERPs. So SERP, so our search engine results pages. I want you to be as high up. So we're using golf scores. So high is number one. I want you to be page one, rank one for as many terms, many keywords as possible. And a Google Business Profile is a direct way into that search engine's algorithm because you're talking directly to Google. So it doesn't require advertising spending. It allows you a massive chunk of presence for absolutely nothing. And it's super important if you have a ton of competition, you have many seasonal inquiries because people might not be super familiar with your business name, but they might know what you offer. So if they're looking for like ice cream around me or local plumber or locksmith or pick a thing that they might not need on the regular where you don't have a crazy good relationship with a potential customer, very important. If you don't have a strong social media presence, this is also extremely valuable because if someone's not turning to advice through social media and they're turning to a search engine for that, even if it's AI, so even if it was ChatGPT or Claude or anything else, This plays a big part. And then very, very important if you are a service-based business that operates in a geographic region. So I know that if you are an electrician, you're probably not traveling 5 hours for work. You're probably going to be working in some kind of geographical area. That means there's a few things. We're not competing against Amazon. We're not competing against Walmart. We're not competing against any major players, but there will still be other service providers in that geographical space that we want to outrank. So very, very important that way. So let's jump into this. Um, if you don't have one, it's very, very easy to start. So starting from scratch, we're going to go through this fairly quickly. You can open up a web browser, google.com/business. This does require you to have a Google email account. So Gmails are absolutely free. If you don't have a Gmail account, you will need to create one. They're very, very easy. You need to verify it with a phone number that you're going to create. If you don't have a Gmail, you're going to get a Gmail. It's going to be your business name at gmail.com. It's not going to be public facing. That's okay. If you don't have, if you need help with that after, we will touch on it, but very, very, very straightforward to get a Gmail account. Cool. If you do have one, you can actually just log into it and you'll be here. So if you already manage a business or if you already manage several businesses, this is the screen that you'll actually be looking at. It's called the business profile manager, and you'll have a whole long list of businesses that are available for you to like enter. If you only manage one, there will only be one on the list, or it could kick you over directly as being logged in. If you wanted to add a second business, a second location, a second or a third location, you're going to see this all the time. And what you'll have to do is come back to this page. You'll log in, you'll come back to this page. You can add single listing. Hey, we're going to open up a new location. It's going to be, somewhere different than our original. You're going to come right back here. So you can select the one that you actually want to manage. Cool. If you don't already have a location in that listing, it's gonna ask you to create one. So right here, it's gonna say, yeah, great, we're gonna create one. Add business, we're gonna create it. It's going to give you this next little screen. It's going to give you an option. You might already have a Google My Business or a Google Business profile that you are not currently managing. So they've found something about your business online and they've kind of created like a pseudo profile waiting for you to claim it. So maybe, this is a big maybe, if you type your business name into the little search, you might be able to find it and that's going to save you some steps. If you can't find the business, yeah, you're going to click add your business to Google. Cool. So either of those options are going to lead you to this next section. You're going to need to give your business, you're going to need to call it the business name. And then there's this category. Categories are very, very, very important. There are over 3,500 different business categories. I'm going to share a link in the chat after this where you can find a long list of them. This is an autofill. You can change it later, but this is an autofill section where you're just going to type in, hey, am I a restaurant? Cool. Am I a restaurant and bar? What are the amenities actually at my location? The right business category is going to open up a whole bunch of things for you. Cool. So cool. We can have multiple business categories. So if I am a restaurant and maybe I've got pool tables and maybe I serve alcohol and maybe there's a bowling alley and maybe there's and. Our primary category is going to be the thing that we are most known for. So the bowling alley would be the thing that we are most known for. We also have a restaurant. We also have an arcade. We also have a whole bunch of other things under that list. We can have up to 10 subcategories. So great, I'm a pool hall or I'm a bowling alley. If someone was looking for, hey, where's the closest place to get a bite to eat? They're probably not going to start that search looking for a bowling alley, but you serve food. So we need to tell Google, hey, we are a bowling alley and we serve food and we're open late and. So the primary service category is bowling alley, 10. You can have up to 10 subcategories with all of the extra things that you actually provide so that when someone actually looks for an auxiliary part of your business, you still show up. Very, very important here. If we get this stuff wrong, we are essentially invisible. So everyone can actually try this evening. If I type in food near me on my phone, It's going to show me a whole long list of places to eat. It's going to show me Pizza Hut. It's going to show me, the local Zares, the local Loblaws. It's going to show me a whole bunch of things because everything's open right now. If I make the same search at 10 p.m. rather than 10 a.m., it's only going to show me the places that are open. So that it's not going to show me the grocery store. It knows that it's great. If I'm after hours, it's not going to show me anything that doesn't actually apply to me. And this is true for all of the other categories you might have. So if you've got, a wonderful, wonderful bar in your restaurant, but you don't tell Google that you've actually got a bar and people are looking for a good place to go on a date, it's not gonna recommend your business. So very, very important to have this. We don't want to use all 10. We don't want to use like, oh yeah, we're like a restaurant and like 40 other things. We just want to put like essentially like your big three. So as specific as possible. So the business category as specific as possible. Add the least number of categories possible. And then we're describing your business, not your amenities. So we don't need to say like, hey, we're not at that stage yet. We don't have to say that we're wheelchair friendly or that we've got elevator access to a second floor or we've got a patio. It's great. I want to go restaurant and bar. Great at the most. Okay, we've got two separate options here. There's like the brick and mortar traditional businesses and then online. So very, very straight up. I have a plumber. I have never been to my plumber's location. I'm sure he's got one. I'm sure it's a lovely location where all he keeps all his plumbing stuff. I don't know very many people that need to go visit their plumber. Cool. He's probably going to have a brick and mortar office somewhere where he keeps his service van and everything, but we don't want to have customers coming to visit you. So this is completely dependent on what you want to choose, and if you want this to be customer facing, two options. Do you want them to come visit? Do you want this to be public facing and customers to actually be able to find you? Yes or no? And there's no wrong. There's no wrong here. If you say, yeah, great, I don't want, there's no reason for people to come visit me, but I service this area. Awesome. And if not, cool, we have a brick and mortar location. Everyone's welcome. So in this example, cool. If you chose no, we have to choose a service area. So where in the province of Ontario are we actually going to service? We are going to type in cities. So great. So here's an example. So like they use Manhattan, New York. I want to pick in a variety of cities that I'm willing to travel to go and provide that service. And we can have up to 20 of them. And if we need more than 20, we're just going to use a bigger thing like all of Ontario. So great, we service all of Ontario, and maybe we do a chunk of Manitoba and maybe a little bit of Quebec. Cool, we just type that in there, we add that service area, and that's going to display. The more refined you get, the better it will be. If you are there's an option for this if you have a physical location and you provide, let's just say, delivery. We're going to get to that in another step, but this is for just service-based businesses. If yes, if you have a physical location and the answer is yes, this is the public facing address. So there's just my home address. Cool. But you will need to provide like, hey, where do we want people to actually go? So this is public facing. We can change it later on. So like there's if you have a typo or something like that, no big deal. But yeah, the public facing address. Some basic information. If you have a website, throw that in there. If you have a contact number, you throw that in there. If you don't have a website, hit the little checkbox. Totally fine. I've also never been to my plumber's website. If you don't have one, that's okay. In this stage, we're just going to verify later. We're going to get through a few more things, but we are going to come back to it if you are creating one from scratch. So we're just going to hit verify later. Very, very important. It's going to ask you for your operating hours. So I need to, this is very, very important for two reasons. Like I mentioned before, if we have the wrong hours, we will not display when we are closed. People rarely want to find out when a business is closed. They more care about when the business is open. So cool, we can throw in our normal hours. This can get very complicated. So you can have like part hours. Maybe you shut down for a couple hours during the day. We can just hit add more hours and you can turn them on and off. Very important to go back during holidays, things like this. I've got a whole holiday slide here of like this year's statutory holidays. It bugs me to no end if I look for something. It's like, hey, yeah, do I need a reservation for St. Patty's Day tomorrow? And it says no. And then I get there and they're like, hey, you needed to book like 3 weeks ago. Cool. We want to put those hours and those reservation options in. You can choose to opt into messaging. Again, so if you wanted to receive messages through this, I would say yes. It's just going to go to your device. It's just going to go to, if you've got a cell phone, it's just going to be a text message completely free for businesses in Canada. It's going to be like, hey, are you guys open? It's going to come through. You're going to say, yeah, we're open. If you completely hate that, um, awesome too. You can just hit no. A business description. So this is probably the first part where businesses get this wrong. This is the biggest chunk of SEO that you will get anywhere. This is the best thing that you can do for small business SEO is have a decent business description on your Google Business profile. We get a few things. We get a couple of characters. So if I bring this up, we have 750 characters. Now it's not 750 words, that's 700 individual characters, and we are talking to a search engine. So I want to do three very, very simple things, and I call them paragraphs, but really it'll be a sentence. Explain who you are, what you do, and how you are better. So competitive advantage. So great, very simple. Very few people are reading this. This is not a tool for people. This is a tool for Google to understand you better. So great, we're going to throw in a whole bunch of things. You can see that I'm using the business name quite a bit. We're going to throw in a whole bunch of things about what we want to be known for. So keywords, when it was founded, who are the founding members. Yeah, very, very, very succinct because we've only got 750. Your goal is to get more than 600. So great, if you can do that very succinctly and you're like, wow, I've got a lot of space left, use the space. Very important. Use the space. Normally, I would have everyone stop and actually like do 5 minutes of this and then copy and paste their description into the chat. And I would critique them a little bit because I want this to be very, very good. If you're comfortable doing that, I'm all ears. If you want to continue going, that's totally fine as well. This is very easy to change in the future. So we're going to get to a couple things later. There's just a button. You can edit it. You can retype it. You can hit save. Good to go. If you did want my critique and you've kind of got one already thought out, I'm more than welcome to go through that. And again, this is recorded, so you're gonna see that. Does anyone have one that they want to share? And if not, that's cool too. And I will show you how to get back here. So it's all good. Catherine, I can't quite see everyone in chat, so let me know if I'm missing something. But I don't see anything in chat, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything in chat right now.
Normally I've got like three screens and I'm doing this like in my office and I'm
It could just be a case of the Monday mornings.
having fun.
A little more coffee.
Okay, cool. Okay, photos. We can if this is some forever homework for everyone. This is very, very, very important. So when we get to the end of this process, this profile essentially will be complete, which means there is nothing left to do. There's nothing left to do. So we might have to reply to a review every now and then. We might have to change our operating hours as the years go by because the dates will change. But by and large, profile is complete. We need to show that we are an active business owner, and it's a little checkbox in an algorithm that we need to make sure there's a checkbox. So how do we actually show Google that we are actually being responsible business owners and being attentive? We have to do something to the profile. So this is forever homework for everyone. Once a week. So not 52 all at once a week. You log in and you upload a photo. The photo can be of anything. The photo can be you interacting with a customer, materials coming in, a picture of your storefront, what the business looks like at nighttime, what the parking situation is. We're gonna have to get a little creative here, but it's once a week. Uploading a photo takes like 10 seconds. You log in, you can click and drag a photo if you're on desktop. You can upload directly from your phone if you're doing it through mobile. Very quick. Very, 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 very quick. But it's a massive piece of just, again, good SEO. It's good SEO practice. Upload it. We get that checkbox back on the algorithm and we're good to go. That history of doing this, very important. If you're just starting, I don't want you to start with just one. I'd like you to start with a few. I'd like a picture of your storefront, what the register looks like, where to park. So let's just say 5 or 6 photos. Restaurants have an easier time with this because people like taking pictures of food. If you're an animal shelter, you're going to have an easier time with this because people like taking pictures of animals. Again, if you're a plumber, I don't take a whole lot of pictures of plumbing stuff unless things go wrong. So you're going to have to get creative with like before and afters, what it actually looks like when it's well done, happy customer testimonials, things like that. You can have people in the images. You can have not like photos that don't feature people. You will eventually get, as your profile grows, you will get people, customers, uploading photos on your behalf. So great, you're a restaurant and someone's going to share the picture of like that great ice cream cone that you've got. Cool. They're going to upload that and they might leave you a review and all those pictures get saved. You still have to do your one a week. No matter how many customer photos or videos you get, you still need to do your one per week. So I normally put it in my calendar on Friday and I go, great, there's a little 5-minute calendar reminder, and I'm going to go do this every Friday because I like people when they find us. Cool. There is a couple of things that we can do ahead of time. You can upload a logo, a cover photo. So the cover photo is going to be a little bit larger, your logo, and these are the size requirements. So if you can, it'll just crop it down naturally if it's a little bit too large. But if you have a little bit of Photoshop or Canva skills, it's 1080 by 608, which is a little bit weird, but is what it is. And the file size just can't be larger than 5 MB. So you're going to have a hard time getting that unless you're shooting on like a very good camera. Anything that you take on a cell phone, if you've owned a phone and it has been manufactured in the last 8 years, it will be perfectly fine quality, perfectly
Matthew,
fine. So you don't need anything crazy.
can I ask a quick question here? There's one in the chat. Is there a maximum amount of photos that you can upload?
All at once, yes. Um, there is. It's based on file size. I wouldn't recommend uploading too many at once. I would do if you've got more, so let's just say you've got a business that allows you to capture a lot of content. I would say great. Instead of doing one a week, do 5 a week. This is like going to the gym or brushing your teeth. It is the repetition and the consistency that is going to be our big win here. Not like going and brushing my teeth 40 times in one day. I'm going to get cavities at the end of the month. So I want to do this on a regular scheduled basis over and over and over and over again um, until forever. That would be the goal here. And that's just essentially we have to play to their drum. And that's just like the best practice that they're recommending is showing that we are essentially an attentive business owner. Log in, upload. Great. If you've got a ton of photos, yeah, do 5 a week. You don't need to start with 1,000. You really don't need to start with 1,000. You can start with like 10. So it's the long-term play here. So this is like the exact opposite of paid advertising where we want to get like a whole bunch of impressions all the time. This is going to be more like a hockey stick graph where it's like we're starting slow and it will ramp up naturally, but there's no like special key to turn up how fast we go. We just have to follow their instructions. And again,
And we,
we are talking to a robot here. So like this is like 100% we are talking to Google. Your photos, unlike your business description, have way more visibility for people. So when I type in ice cream near me and it shows me, hey, there's like one that's half a mile this way or 2 kilometers that way. Great. Those images will display. And I just need good photos of ice cream. And Google's good enough to figure out what's in the photo. It's going to know like that's going to be an ice cream and this is not. But it doesn't want you to upload 1,000 ice cream images on day one and never do it again.
and then
Cool.
there's Royden. Sorry, I don't know how to
Yeah, I'm
pronounce your
here.
Hey
name.
there. Yeah, no,
Hop
it's all
in, you
good.
could throw your question out.
Yeah, it's Royden. Just a quick question. For the photos that you upload, does Google automatically put them in order of like when they were loaded up, or is it based on popularity? And I ask
It's
this just because if like say you're a restaurant and you have like your storefront, your area that everyone's sitting, but then as you go along and upload like lower value photos, do the lower value photos appear first and like the main
It's
stuff that
this
you'd
is
probably
great. This is really interesting. So it's not quite like any other platform where it's like if you're on Instagram, you can like pin things and you can hold things in
hmm
specific positions. So normally it's based on relevancy of what someone's searching for. So if someone was searching patio, those images will appear first. If it's not a search that has any kind of like specific objective looking for, so like food near me, it's going to be based on relevancy. So like newest to oldest. There's not great filtering tools on this. So like someone can't search through your Google My Business photos or Google Business Profile photos. It's literally top to bottom. So like not normally a use case. The best practices for photos is when you take a photo on your cell phone. So great, I'm a Samsung user. I take a photo and then I go into my camera roll for that photo and I say, oh yeah, that's a good photo. I want to use that one. And but it will be called like 10111010.jpg. Like that's the file name that will be in my camera. I want to change that file name to something that makes sense. So it's going to say like my restaurant name during summer on the patio. And like that will be the file name of the actual photo that I took. That is what you're actually after. It's just naming the photo with a few keywords that will allow Google to actually prioritize the photos and it's done right on the file name. That's a total pain in the butt to do if you're an Apple user because renaming files in your camera roll sucks. Samsung's really easy. It's like one click, rename file, rename it, cool, and then upload it. Um, this is true of every social platform too. So if I take a photo and I upload it to Instagram right out of my phone and I don't change the file name, it doesn't go anywhere else but Instagram. If I title the photo my business name, patio season, margarita drink, something, that photo will then get picked up by a search engine and then display outside of the platform as well. And that file name change again, it does add time and it's a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie, because it slows down like the normal process, but it makes all of your content go that much further for not that much work. So yeah, good question. There's no filtering tools. Rename your images, and this is just good business practice too. So like if I had to describe that photo to a person that was visually impaired, how would I describe it? That's what I want to do in that file name. I don't have to like write a paragraph. It's like a short little sentence. So and so serving someone at X and Y. Right? The search engine is going to handle everything after that. A good question. Okay, cool. If we've done those basics, the listing essentially will have been created. We're going to talk about the verification in a minute. But great, the profile is set up. There's many, many more things to do, but the basics are in place. So let's actually talk about managing and actually going into it. Cool. This is what it's going to look like. So like it is this is not an app. This is a web-based application. So we don't have to actually go into an app and download it. I can actually go back into a search engine. I go back to Google and just type in my business and it will pop up here if I am logged into the email address that I signed up with. So Google uses what's called an SSO, a single sign-on. As long as I'm logged into the email address, this will pop up. And all of my management tools will be right here at the top of the actual browser. So I can edit the profile, read reviews, messages, add photos, updates, Q&A. I can advertise. There is a spot where you can actually spend money on this, but you don't have to. And if you're not verified yet, you're going to have these get verified buttons all over the place. Again, we're going to get to that in a minute. But whenever I actually need to go and do an update, I can actually just go into the browser. Don't have to worry about an app on the phone. It's all done through web. Cool. Which is like different from a lot of things nowadays. Cool. So if I clicked into that business information one, you're going to see, great, there's a whole bunch of things here. It's just the first button here. Give me a second. Oh, great. If I just click edit profile, I'm gonna see this. Cool, about the business name, the category, if I need to change the category. And if I was to mouse over this is just a screenshot. If I was to mouse over this, there's just going to be a little pencil icon and I can edit all of these things. So you were going to have a bunch of additional fields at this point, like what date did the business open? We're going to put that in there. We're going to put in a whole bunch of additional information. And I would just say start from the top to bottom and fill it out. Fill it out. So great. Starting with special hours. So great. My example, we going to be open? Are we going to be open on, I think the first one is April 3rd. Oh, April 3rd, Good Friday. Are we going to be open? Easter Monday, are we going to be open? All of these, we can put those in ahead of time. We don't have to wait until that day of. We can go into the special hours, which is, if I go back, great. I just go into the hours, which will be under hours at the top. And I'm going to go put all these in. You're going to have to go into your calendar every year and do this. We can only do this 1 year at a time. So it's just a little reminder in your calendar going, hey, update my Google Business Profile hours for the year. And you're going to have to go in and you're going to go and look at all the stat holidays that we have in Canada. And maybe you have some other things that you need to do. And I want to put all of those dates in very early on in essentially or now in 2026 or early 2027 when the year changes over. And every single year, you're going to have to do this. Every single year, you're going to have to do this. Please don't forget, just put it in there. Not hard. They make doing the special hours really, really easy. Add date, you choose the date. All of the federal holidays will already be like named Canada Day. But if let's just say you wanted to take June 13th off in 2026, for let's say, great, yeah, we're going to change our hours. Or maybe we've got summer hours, maybe we've got winter hours, maybe we do X and Y. Cool. Can change them. If you've got, so this is very, very interesting. If you are a bar and you say, great, we're a bar, or a bowling alley, we're a bowling alley. Oh, our dinner menu stops at 10 p.m., but we stay open for a late night menu until 1 a.m. We can actually do that. We can actually do that here. And it's not like we have to do that for every single day. We just go, great, add date, and it'll give me a date range. And I'm going to say, great, our breakfast is served between 6 a.m. and noon. So that when someone types in best breakfast near me, we show up. Okay. If you've got senior hours, if you've got, again, this is more geared towards restaurants, but there's also going to be a whole bunch of things that you're going to have if you're service based and you're doing like stuff like emergency plumbing or emergency veterinary work. There's going to be those as well based on your business category. These will not all appear unless your business category has something to let people know. So that the plumber is going to have a different set of things here. The veterinarian is going to have a different set of things here. Okay. So it's all going to be completely tailored based on that business category. So if you're not seeing the right options, we probably have the business category wrong, or you haven't added any subcategories onto the list that actually include that you're a restaurant and a bar. Bar hours can be different from the restaurant hours, but very, very, very important. Cool. Under the more, if I go back up, there's going to be a little more tab. Everyone can see my cursor up here. There's a little bit, there's a more. Cool. If I go down, this is what happens. Cool. From the business, we're going to add a whole bunch of things. Is it wheelchair friendly? Do you have an elevator? Do you have a patio? LGBTQ friendly? Is it women? Like, great. I'm going to put in all of the things from the business beyond that so that when someone is looking for supporting local or finding something because I've got a disability or anything, I want, again, if I don't tell Google that I'm doing it, essentially I'm telling no one. So there's going to be a bunch of options, a whole bunch here. Based on the business category, fill them out. Fill them out. Very, very, very important. Fill them out. You'll only ever have to do this once. So like, there's going to be more than the screenshot. Do you have free parking? Huge advantage if you have free parking. People love that. So there's going to be a whole bunch. Okay, back to the photos. If you want to add more, not from the other menu, add more. We can add a photo. Cool. We can add photos, logos, and cover photos. You're probably only going to ever end up adding photos, but that's where you do it from. You click it, add photo, easy peasy. The verification. I'm gonna pop back up here a few things. There are a couple of things that we're not going to get into today, but very, very important for you to click on. You should, based on your category, have an edit products or services tab or both. Those need to be completed. I've got a separate set of slides for those, so I can go to those a little bit later. Those need to go. These absolutely need to go to get completed. So if I am a plumber and I've got like my basic service call to come and diagnose a problem is $125, I want to put that in there. Like I want to put as much about my company into this as possible because I need Google to understand what I do so that when someone's searching for it, they can find me. Cool. So you can actually add your products and services with Great. Estimated pricing starting from $200. X and Y. If you've got a huge menu, if you're a restaurant, that's not how you do it. You'll just upload essentially a menu, a little bit different. Everyone else, so like if I'm a dentist, if I'm a doctor, if I'm a veterinarian, if I'm any kind of service provider, you're gonna actually upload your services. Cool. Like
Can
accepting
I,
new patients.
sorry, I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Is this where, say, a hotel would put in the rooms with the rate ranges, or
Yeah, they can. If they'd like to do that, you can actually do that from here. If my business category was hotel, I'd actually have something different. I'd actually have a they will have their own little icon, and that's where they will upload that for sure.
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
they'll be
you.
like room and rate, and then is there a discount rate if I book for a week rather than a day? Yeah, they have their own little icon um for rooms. It's a little bit different for like if it's an Airbnb. Not advised to do this if you're an Airbnb. If it's like a hotel or a motel or something that's actually like a managed location, absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, last thing is updates. Updates are really weird. There are like three things behind the update. If you start offering a new service, or if you want to call it like a summer special, or if you want to do something that you want to draw emphasis to, add an update button. So sure, it's still going to be a product or a service, but I want to tell Google, yeah, it's you know what, it's X and Y, buy X and get Y, and it's all summer long. I want that to happen. Very, very important for things that are time-based. If I'm running a sale that's only good for a week, if I am doing something as like an event where it's like, hey, I'm trying to sell a ticket for like the event that's on Friday, that is under the add update button. Cool. Um, Again, there's going to be a little bit of performance data that comes through this. So while if I was to click performance, we can see how many calls and clicks and how many impressions we're actually getting through this. It's going to start at 0, like everything does, and it's going to go up from there. Good to take an eye on this. It will send you, Google will send you it's kind of a snapshot of your performance every 30 days. So it'll be like a monthly thing. They'll send you an email. Here's how you performed every 30 days, and it gives you a little bit of a breakdown. It's good to see because you're probably going to learn a little bit around like, oh, I didn't really realize I was ranking for those keywords or how people were finding me. It's good to keep an eye out on. Not a whole bunch of action items come out of that, but it's very good to just see like, oh, I'm this is going up, and those photos are the best ones that are people are actually driving people into my location. It's good to know. Okay, the verification process has changed many times over the years. So great. I'm going to go through why, because it does lead some business owners to be very frustrated. Okay, pre-COVID, so let's think about like pre-COVID, 2019, 2020, maybe even into COVID a little bit, 2021. Many people were displaced. People started working from home. Businesses relocated from an office environment into like being more remote. Cool. That opened up Canadians to a ton of fraud. We are a very susceptible society for whatever reason. We get taken advantage of. The older demographics get taken advantage of like crazy. So instead of having a normal verification process where I could hop on the phone or have a piece of mail sent to me, the process has changed. So this is entirely done because too many Canadians were getting ripped off and losing control of this account and getting essentially blackmailed into paying money to get ownership back of it, and it was a total nightmare. So great, that's not going to happen anymore. Okay, so we have to put in some stuff. So we have to put in some stuff. Um, we have to, great, we have to provide them a mailing address. We have to provide Google a mailing address. So cool, this is not public. This is not public information. So great, the address you provide will be hidden from the public. Post off boxes are not eligible. So great. Google needs to say, great, my customer facing address is one thing, but my billing and shipping and receiving address is something else. I need to put in the one where you get mail. So like the place where your filings come to, the place where like I absolutely need to make sure someone is not going to get this mail on my behalf. I'm going to get it myself. Cool. At that point, I'm going to have to select a way to get verified. For Canadians, very few businesses have a different option than business video. Very few. If you already have multiple businesses, you may have more. So if I owned a McDonald's franchise and I've got like 3 locations, I'm going to have different options. If I'm a solo business owner, like one location and haven't done this before, one option, business video. Cool. But it's super easy. So it's super, super easy. I've done this, I don't know for how many people. It's really, really easy. You have to do it on a mobile device. Right? So you're going to log into your email on your mobile device. You're going to go back to google.com/business. Great. And it's going to click the verify button and this is going to pop up. Be really, really easy. So I can click business video and I'll hit next. And just to prepare, I'm going to film a little video and it's not going to be like on my camera roll. It's going to be in their little app that I'm going to show you. And it's going to be great. And I'm going to just do 3 things in this video. I don't need to show my face. I don't need to talk. I don't need to do anything like that. I'm going to show my surrounding area. It's going to have me turn on my location services. Great. And now that's going to be very hard for a fraudster to fake having the device logged into your email in the right location. Cool. I'm just going to film. Hey, there's a street sign, and there's my business, and here it all is. And the Google's going to capture some data around like, hey, that phone actually is in that place, logged into that email address that has access to the account, and like, hey, there it is. And we're going to show the business. And I'm going to have like a business card in my hand or a sign that I've got on the side of my business. Cool. There it is. I'm at the business location. And then I want to show that I am an owner of the business. So if I can unlock the front door, again, it's going to see my hand and a key going into a lock, and I'm going to unlock the door, or I'm going to unlock a service vehicle that like has like my signage on it. I'm just going to show that I've got someone with a set of keys. So again, to prevent fraud. So even if I was a fraudster, I now need to steal your keys and get access to your business card and steal your phone and your email password and. Cool. It's one continuous video. So very easy. I recommend everyone, they just start on the street, push the go button. So you're just going to say like get verified. You're going to hit go and you're going to film. You're going to film and you're going to walk up to your business and you're going to have your keys in there. Cool. It's going to be really, really, really straightforward. Okay. Planning ahead. That's like I said, capture all 3 requirements, one continuous recording. Most successful videos are 1 to 2 minutes at the most. So like walking from the edge of the street and you're just going to walk. You don't have to like feel there's no pressure. You get it wrong, you just hit redo. Start outside. Start outside. Capture business surroundings. Again, cool. And then if you're doing things on desktop and you're going like, okay, great, because I prefer doing things on desktop because I'm a millennial. I want to go, okay, now I got to do this on my mobile device. They give you a QR code right there in your profile. So if I'm logged into my email, I can scan that on my scan the QR code on my phone, and that brings up the video thing right on my phone. And I walk outside, I hit go, and I film. Cool. And so great. Avoid capturing faces or sensitive documents. You don't need your face on it. You don't need to show like tax forms or anything. I need to show like a key going into a vehicle, unlocking a front door. Cool. Very, very, very straightforward, but weird. This is a weird process because like no other technology provider makes you film a video. Okay, let's just say you do that. Let's say you do the video and the video is really good and it goes in. It usually takes them about 4 business days to look at it and make sure it's good. And at that point, you'll get an email verification. Okay, great. If it's not good, let's say it's not good, they're going to ask you, hey, can we get on a live chat? They're going to be on the phone with you while you do the video. So the support at that point is pretty good, but they're going to have to do the video first before the support is an option. And they're going to walk you through it. So you'll put it on speakerphone and they're going to ask you specific things like walk to the end of the street. And you're going to walk to the end of the street with your camera. And then you're going to look down the street and they're going to say, okay, yeah, that is the right place because like the maps information is maybe a little weird in your area. Cool. And you'll walk back. It's very, very, very straightforward. And they're just going to get you to provide some additional stuff. Don't show anything sensitive. Nothing. They will never ask you for banking information. They will never ask you for password information. They're never going to ask anything about finances, anything like that. They're essentially trying to make sure that you are not trying to scam a business owner out of this. Period. Cool. That was a lot. Do we have questions at all? Because that process, you should be able to do that process in like again, 1 to 2 minutes. I don't think I've ever done one even close to the 2 minute mark. It's normally about a minute. But yeah, there is no rush. Any questions about the verification process, Google Business Profile at large? anything like that.
I
There's
do
no wrong
appreciate you
questions.
walking us through this verification. We've got a lot of businesses that it's almost like an anxiety for them.
It
So
is.
you really made this simplified, and I appreciate that.
And so this is, I want to make sure everyone knows that too. This is not like filming for like Instagram or a reel or YouTube short or a TikTok. No people, no audio, no nothing. We are like, everyone I'm sure has gone on a vacation or taken a video of like, the dog playing in the backyard. It's super simple. I just need to take those three things and go, I need these three things in it, and you're just gonna like film yourself doing it. Sorry, you're gonna film the action, not yourself. So zero, where there's no like, we're not turning the camera around and viewing us. We are just viewing out. So, and again, I'm with you. Even the first time I did it, I was like, what the heck am I doing here? Those are the steps. Very, very easy steps. Three things, easy peasy.
All right, Matt, you've got a question. You could
All right,
just
let's
throw
hear
it
it.
out.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we've had a profile for quite a while. We have been at the harbor in King Pardon. And I'm
Okay.
just having a couple issues with Google review and then local sites. I'm having issues with the pictures of the local sites popping up. That's just sites that are in the area that automatically appear. So I'm having a couple issues, but the one thing, the one review I'm having an issue with, it was a review from September 2020 that remains as the top review on our business, Google Business.
Mm-hmm.
It still remains as the top review. It says our place is dated, which was, our place has been, remodeled many times since
Yes.
then. It remains as the top review sitting there at the top of our business
Have
since. And
you
so I've reached out to Google. I've reached out to the person that did the
reviewer?
review.
Yeah.
They were a guest of a guest, so they weren't even actually in our system. But
Lovely.
anyways, I'm not sure how to tackle that because it remains as our top review showing our place is dated when we have the most beautiful place in our area. So I just wondering if you have
So,
any thoughts on
okay,
that.
so for everyone here, so let's I'll say a few words and I'm going to come back to that question. If so, reviews happen, we can't prevent them from coming in. Sometimes they're great. I love those ones. And sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're flat out wrong, where like we've gotten them before and someone was reviewing our company and they were actually reviewing a company in the States. So if it's wrong, you do have a way of reporting it, which is just a little three dots and I can report it. You've already talked to Google about that, saying like, hey,
Yes, I talked to them and I reported it several different ways, saying it was inaccurate or it was wrong information. I've sent it to escalations or appealed it. They said that it wasn't valid for an appeal.
okay,
So I've exercised every option I can see and
you've
even
exercised it.
asked
Okay.
to talk to legal about it, and they just aren't, I'm not getting the answer I'm looking for, but this remains as
Yes.
our top review. The first thing that people see is that our place is dated. Meanwhile, we have a beautiful boutique inn, and that remains our first review. And so I'm not sure what else to do.
There's so the first thing I would do is, and I imagine you've done some of this already. Have you uploaded any new imagery, any kind of before and
Yes.
after imagery?
Yep, I have. I've uploaded new photos of the rooms that they talked about. Always uploaded new photos of our property.
Have you, so did you do that in the photo section right here, or did you actually do that on the review itself?
Um, Not on the review itself. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, so did you reply to the review?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so I would go back into that and I would reply to it because that gets time stamped. And I would just say, because so if we Google's a little bit weird this way. So like if that person broke terms of service, if they were like if swearing or racist or anything like that, this would be a very quick process. Like they'll take that down like same day. With this, harder to prove that they're incorrect or wrong. I would go in to that review and I would absolutely leave an update saying like, hi, so and so, like all of our stuff was updated, and I would actually upload those images there. If this is the top rated review, so like I'll kind of want to make lemonade out of lemons here. If I've got a review that's not great, so like when I look for a product, to be very honest, or a service, I'm normally not interested in the good reviews. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with it? And I immediately go to the one stars and go like, what should I be concerned about? That's a very, very good one to be concerned about because oh, it's dated. And then I've got a reply from the owner right away. So I know that review is getting a ton of attention. And now I've got an owner saying like 3 weeks ago for with an update, all of our rooms have actually been renovated as of this date. Here's where the photos are, yada yada yada. Like I can explain the stuff. And then now my concerns about this being dated are completely alleviated. I'm no longer concerned. I read the review. It did something that was actually supposed to happen. um, I want people to read that. So if Google's not going to take it down because potentially it wasn't wrong for the time or it doesn't break terms of service, I just want to correct it. So I would go back in. Thanks so much for the review. Sorry you felt that way. We've actually updated X and Y and Z and all of the things. And that way, when I'm reading it, I'm going to go, okay, wow, one, the business owner actually cares because they're actually replying to the reviews. And then two, it's like, wow, that like they replied to the review in 2026 and everything's good.
The, and that's all good stuff. And I mean, I've done all those things. I
You've done
will
those things.
update the photo on that person's review. But, you know, for those that are thorough on, you know, I'm not gonna check the first review. I'm gonna go back and see in the aggregate what's there and get a real sense of that property or that business. And that those that are thorough will do that, but still at a glance, you know, anybody that just at a glance looks at our property, whether
Looks-
on mobile or on their PC, that's what they're gonna see, and that might be enough for them to just move on. And so
You're
that's
right.
something that we want
That
to
will that
try and
will
update that.
change over time. So if you're uploading more photos, that review will start getting less priority. So this actually happens a lot with restaurants with menu changes. Hey, that thing was really good or really bad, and it's no longer on the menu. Maybe it was a summertime offer or something. Great. There's a lot less beer sold on patios in the winter. That will naturally change the more content that you give it. It just so happens that that one is the top review for whatever reason. That will change naturally. I would, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to throw my email into the chat, and then you and I are going to check because we've got different resources at Google. I'm going to see if I can pull any strings
Awesome.
too. So stick around for me for a little bit. You're going to get my email, and we're going to chat.
There was one other thing I was hoping to ask.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm always trying to update our profile, our Google profile. And just one thing I've noticed lately, when I go to search in Google, go to search hotels Kincardine, it'll give you a list of accommodators in the area on the left-hand column.
Mm-hmm.
You select any one of the properties in town, and it'll give you sort of a little snapshot of what they're about, give you the description on that. As you scroll down the page, it'll talk about local sites, and it'll give you any local sites in the area that for near that property. And for some reason when I look at other properties, those local sites have their photos as part of those sites. For ours, for some reason, half of them show blank. So I'm not sure what I've done in my settings that is creating that view for folks that are looking at our property.
Yes. Okay, so there's a few things. Give me half a second here. Yeah, so there's going to be a few. Okay. You are an odd one because you are at that low business's location every single day, probably with that device. So it knows, Google knows like you are associated with that business somehow. Have you tried looking at that with someone else's device?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I
I've
would
tried
take a
through my
look. So like
mobile
when
and through my
even
personal computer, but not on somebody else's device.
yeah, so even when we do this, we've got a separate set of devices that aren't tied to the business at all, and it gives it a more true represent. So, and this is of everyone. This is of everyone. So great. I'm logged into my computer all day long and my mobile device and everything, and it it's the world we live in. It tracks when you're sleeping. It knows when you're sleeping because the device goes dormant. It knows where you work and what routes you take to go to work. It knows everything about you, and it's kind of scary about how much data they collect. It knows there's a customer profile built around each one of us, and it is making very educated guesses about what we do as people and where we go and all of that. And great, that goes into an advertising profile and yada, yada, yada. We kind of sign our life away for that. It knows that you were associated with that business. It's going to know that anyone in your family is associated with that business because now I've got three devices all sitting at the same kitchen table eating dinner 5 nights a week. That's what they do. So I wouldn't try to use like your wife or partner's photo or phone. I would be looking for like, hey, can I next time you're with your friends, hey, can I see your phone right quick? Can I make a search? That's going to be the only way that you're going to get out of that like bucket of, hey, I'm an owner of a business. What does my customer actually see? Even if you're using like an incognito window, not good enough. Not good enough at all. You're going to
I just
need to
took a
use,
look and I have no problem seeing photos. Just
yeah. So you,
FYI.
yeah, and it's different because normally people aren't searching for themselves. So like when you're looking up like the business that you control, it's probably not like and like you're obviously doing your research and you're trying to see what your customers are seeing. It's just Google's not good at doing that because your customer profile, it doesn't lead them, frankly. It's trying to sell ads. It's not going to sell you the ad for yourself. It's going to try and promote other businesses in the area because it knows that you're not going to click your own ad. And that's like you're like one of 1,000. It's not doing things for you. It's literally doing everything else for like for someone else. It's kind of good because it leads your employees to not having like that experience because I don't want employees clicking ads. I don't want employees like muddying up the data. It knows how many people are in that location all the time. So it's just a different experience based on who you are. So I would absolutely, like I said, I'm going to give you my email. I'm going to give everyone my email. So if they've got questions outside of this, look from a different device that isn't associated with you at all. I bet it's different. And I bet you it's good. So I know that you're concerned about it. We go through this all the time. And the normal analogy I use is like we build business billboards for customers, not the owner. And that billboard that you've got right now, you're trying to look at going like, why isn't it working? It's like, well, it was never supposed to work for you in the first place. And I know that's weird and dumb and it shouldn't work like that. Uh, but it does.
Perfect.
Those local sites photos on top of that, what I said about tagging the photos or changing the file name on the photos, that will help immensely. So that when you upload photos with those like site specific keywords, that will help that situation quite a bit as well.
We do have a question from Bonnie. Can we delete an old photo?
So if it is a customer uploaded photo, you cannot. If it is a photo uploaded by someone, so it's like owner uploaded, you absolutely can. Yeah, so you would just go into the photos. So if I have a screenshot? Yeah, you can delete anything that you have uploaded, you can delete or change. If it's a customer uploading a photo of whatever, it's going to be harder to delete those ones because again, there's two types of social proof online. We have what are called testimonials or reviews. Everything that is done through Google Business Profile is what's called a review, and they're weighted higher. So they're unprompted. We do not get to control like you as a business owner, even us as in our role, we don't get to control what someone writes, what email address they use, what photos they upload, and those are weighted way higher because there's less influence we can have over them. If I was to upload a testimonial on a website going like, so and so thought it was great, and it's like Rick from like the local gym owner, like, how do I know that's true? There's very little proving that this was actually a real testimonial. Where everything on Google Business Profile, someone has to have an email address, a phone number registered to that review, and they needed to actually be there. So if I haven't taken my device, it would be very difficult if I was to try and leave a review for a business in Germany if my phone has never been to Germany. There's like fraud prevention's already baked into it. So if I don't take that trip and I don't go to that, that beer hall in Germany, it's going to have a very difficult time uploading that review in the first place. And then if the owner of that goes, hey, yeah, you're not talking about the beer hall in Germany, you're at the one in Kitchener for Oktoberfest. Great. It's going to be very easy for them to work that out. And it works for both the business owner, management, as well as like the actual consumer. So These are weighted, these reviews are weighted way higher. And what you'll find is the more social proof you have, the more reviews you have, is essentially who is winning in the search engine results pages. So I know that doesn't help people that are starting out or that are new, but it's like, okay, great. I know what I need to actually go get now for my customer. Can I get 5 good reviews a week? Can I get 2 a week? What can I actually do? And that's going to help way more than spending money on ads or putting out, flyers, things like that. Any other questions? And if not, that's okay, because you can like send me questions later on as well.
Perfect. Okay, so I
Oh, no.
guess I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add here today, but I do appreciate you
Oh,
walking us
absolutely.
through all of those steps, especially the best copywriting practices when it
Yes.
comes to writing your business description, who you are, what you do, and how are you better.
Yes.
Super important and straightforward. Again, you know, all the pride of owning your business, you just want to embellish everything and share it all, but to keep it simple goes a long way. So again, I do see Tammy is typing something here, but I did want to say we'll be sharing a copy of the recording today. Matthew has also, he's going to share the PowerPoint presentation,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. So we'll be sure to pass that along to everyone. I do have a quick question for those of
Sure.
you on online, and I mentioned at the beginning of the call, but I'll throw it out there again. We have never done training on a Monday, and we're just trying to get a feel for if Monday is a good day for people to participate in training. If you feel like Monday is a great day, if you can give a thumbs up, just trying to get a feel for whether or not this is something that we'll do more often or stick to our regular Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are also very popular. But that is all I've got here for today. And yeah, I just want to say thank you, Matthew. As always,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
are
Thank you.
wonderful and we appreciate having you here. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I
and I
know.
hope you
Yeah,
have
thank you for
safe
the good
travels
questions.
home, get your
Yeah, oh,
luggage
I'm
back
gonna
and all that
try.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
everyone didn't hear this. I spent 24 hours in a Texas airport and got nowhere yesterday. And it was, yeah, you can imagine they're gonna get some reviews today. Yeah, it'll be on the news. It was wild. So
Wow.
everyone else be safe.
Well, we're happy that you are safe and hopefully
Yeah,
get home sooner than later.
sooner than later. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
all this anger inside isn't good for you. You need to find a way to let it go. I think I'm gonna go sit there in the box.